So in this video, let's take a look at how we could apply using dates in a query. In this example, we have some form data, and this is form data that's been received, and you can see there's forms from all these different dates. This has been sorted by these various dates, and I want to just look at the data that's come in, say in the last 2 weeks, last 10 days, last 30 days. So first of all, let's turn this into a named range. I'm going to call this form data, and that'll make it easier to write the query. So this would be equal to a query, and our form data would be our range, and then we're going to select, and in this case we're going to select everything where. And here's where we have to write our data. So this is where A, that's our date, is less than or equal to the, and here we have to convert this to a date, and we have to use this way of formatting the text. And let's see, let's change that to uppercase text. And what we want to do is use the term today, and we'll do today, comma, and then the format that we want, it has to be the format that we've learned we have to use in query YYYY-MM-DD. And then we have to finish that out, and then we have to wrap that, and we have to put our ampersand, double quote, single quote. And then we would need to finish out our query. And let's finish that out. And in this case, it looks like we probably get the entire data set because that's everything less than today. Let's go ahead and let's do a count here so we can see how this might change. I'm going to do this equal to a count A so that we can just count how many we get here, F2 to F. And we get 788 that are having dates less than today. Well, let's look at our data set and see, do we have any dates past today? Yes, we do. So we have a total number of, we have 1,001 names in here, and when we do the query just dates less than today, we could see that we have 788. So the next step would be to go how we could take this same information where we want less than today but within X number of days. So we would just simply take where A is equal to date, all of that. We'll copy that, make it easier to work with, and we can paste that back in, and this time we'll say is greater than or equal to the date. And we would say, let's say today minus 7. So that should give us, let's see what that does for us. That brings us down to having 58. Now, that's great. That is letting me find everything. Let's say we wanted everything in the last 2 weeks. And we can see if I come into the query and change that, I get 127. Let's go ahead and make that bold, make that red. We can see that we get 127. And if we change that to minus 30, we get 264 and so forth. So using this format, we can very quickly analyze our form data and just find the responses that we received in a last X number of days. Now, you'd have to come in here and manipulate the query. So another thing we could do is let's just type a number here, 10, and then in our formula, let's go ahead and label this as our formula. we could change the minus 30 to minus, let's get rid of that, and let's reference this cell. So minus D1. So there's 92. So I could change this to 3 days. I could change this to 31 days. I could change this to 60 days, and so forth. And then this formula lets me just look at the data that is, in this case, say we go back to the 14 days, which is 2 weeks. Now we can look at the form responses with a query and just look at the dates or the form responses that have happened in the last 2 weeks, again, 10 days, 30 days, whatever, depending on how you want to manipulate that. The important part is that you have to use this special format to analyze these dates, using this string, turning it into a string. And then in this case, we're taking that date today and subtracting whatever we want changing that. Very helpful way to analyze your data using the query and working with dates.